Again, we back again. All right, we talking Jets, talking about everything. This is going to be our draft prediction show. We're going to talk about our prediction for the draft that we got coming up. Also going to cover some things, you know, some ideas that a lot of people are having about the draft. Also some things that have happened as well. Some re-signings that we've had. So, I hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Again, you can call in. It is 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number to the show. You can call in live and talk to me. We're going to talk Jets, man. We're going to talk Jets today. We're talking about everything that, this football team has going on. So I want to, have a good time with everybody and enjoy ourselves. So, call on in, call on in. The lines are open right now. 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639. Call in. We talking Jets. We talking about everything that, we got going on around here, man. Draft's coming up. We got to get these predictions in. Got to talk about, the live show we're going to have during the draft as well for those of you. One second, folks. Let me share this. Prestige Shogun, what's going on, my man? Prestige says, Long Beach GOAT. What's going on, my man? Salutes to you. Thank you so much. Good to see you in here, Shogun. King as well. Good to see you in here as well. King says, what's good, Joe? Off topic, but did you hear about EDP? I did. I did hear about EDP. We'll be, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's really crazy to see him. That happens, but we'll see, because there's more that's going to come out. The video's coming out, so on and so forth. So we'll see what happens, but salutes to you, King. Robert, salutes to you as well. I got Sulla in the building. You know what I'm saying? I got Sulla in the building. So salutes to you as well. Again, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. Call in. The lines are open. The lines are open. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking Jets. We're going to be talking the draft. We're going to be talking all kind of things that we got coming up. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get on the lines. Get on the lines. Yeah, it's a lot of crazy things going on, folks. But, we definitely got to talk this Jets. Draft predictions. I want to hear who you guys think the Jets are going to take. Your final predictions there. So, hold on a second, folks. I'm going to connect the show, and I'll be right back, all right? Hold on.
Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? What's going on? We're back at it. We're back again. It's your boy, Long Beach Joe. We are here to talk about the draft that we have coming up. We're doing the final draft predictions today. I want to hear what you folks think about the Jets draft. Who do you think they're going to take? So, this is going to be a fired up show, and I can't wait to get into it. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and get into the show. I am fired up. I'm fired up, folks. I'm fired up. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot going on. We got a lot to talk about today. You can also check out my show as well on iTunes. It's The Long Beach Joe Show. The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Please give your boy, subscribe to my podcast on there. Please, go ahead and give me a rating. Give me a 5-star rating. Leave some comments. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you folks think. Go ahead and drop that. You can also check me out as well. For those of you that don't know, I also live stream during, my live radio show. You can check out the live stream and the show on Long Beach Joe Jets. That's the YouTube channel. I'm also on Blog Talk Radio as well. Long Beach Joe Jets. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and do that, man. Check out all those things. Subscribe as well to my content on Long Beach Joe Jets. Go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? So now it's time to get into it. Today we're doing our prediction show. We're going to talk about a lot, folks. But I want to start right at the top, at the beginning. All right. I look at this situation with the New York Jets, and I'm saying to myself, we all know that they're going to take a quarterback at 2. We all know that. I think we all understand kind of the gravity of whoever it is they take, whether it be Wilson, whether it be, Justin Fields, whoever. Even some people are screaming Trey Lance, whoever it is they take. We all understand the gravity of making sure that we get the guy right, making sure that we get the right talent in here. But I think what we also need to focus on as well is the other things that help make quarterbacks good, right? And for me, it starts not only just with getting the right guy, but getting the right talent to surround him with. If you look at the situation, that the New York Jets have put past quarterbacks into, you look at guys, Sam Darnold is a great example. Issues along the roster. It made it really hard to evaluate who he was as a quarterback. Eventually, yes, we did move on from him. But let me tell you something. You look at the situation there was all types of issues. Issues along the offensive line. He was never protected properly. Problems with our wide receiver core. Was there ever enough talent? There were so many questions left on the table, and he never turned into exactly what we needed him to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you look at the past as well, some people say, hey, we did that to Mark Sanchez as well, especially in the later years after, those first couple years with the AFC Championship. A lot of people say, hey, the roster tanked after that too, and Mark never really became anything. To make sure that your quarterback flourishes, if you look around the NFL, you look at guys like Josh Allen, you look at guys like Lamar Jackson, you look at guys like Kyler Murray as well out there in Arizona. Those teams have surrounded them with guys that can make plays. Those teams have also done what it took to protect them. Josh Allen, again, is a great example. Bills went all in the draft. They got them offensive linemen. They went out there and got him a number 1 weapon in Diggs. They've done things to turn it around, and he was the biggest boomer bust prospect in the entire draft at one point. A lot of people were wondering, is this guy ever, going to be anything? Why? There were some people scared to take him in the first, but the Bills took him and they built around him. Another thing that we also need to make sure that we do as well is get the proper coaching in here. We need to do that. We've seen that fail in the past as well. Quarterbacks that we've had in the past. You look at, again, what the Bills have done with Josh Allen. They've turned him around. They got him the right pieces in place. DeBoer is out there, you know what I'm saying? That's his offensive coordinator. And Brian Daboll is out there making sure that things got done correctly. And guess what? He's flourished. He went from a guy that we were all calling a glorified running back to an MVP candidate. Had a big season last season. If you would have told me the year before this year that Josh Allen would be an MVP candidate, I would have laughed you out the building. The entire damn Jets fan base would have laughed you out the building, man. Let's be serious. But guess what? They kept rolling. They kept coaching with him. They make sure he got the right guys to help fix his mechanics. And then guess what? This year he turns it around. Now he's playing big. We've got to do the same with whatever guy that we bring in here. But another element as well, especially when you play with the New York Jets, is the environment, because the pressure here is insane. You have to make sure that the environment is right for a quarterback to flourish here too. The coaching staff, whoever it is, anything that you have, anything that you need to surround a young quarterback with, the team, the staff, everybody needs to be all in, and they need to make sure that this kid understands that, yes, there's going to be pressure coming here, but we got your back. That's what you have to do. You have to do that. Because, again, playing in New York, the expectations are out the window. They want you to do everything. They want you to be Aaron Rodgers out the gate. You have to make sure that you have the right coaches, the right people, the right environment in that QB's ear to let him know, yo, the franchise got your back, dog. Don't worry about it. Just go out there and play your game. Do what we do every single week. Go out there and play how we practice. Go out there and play hard. Go out there and do whatever it takes. Put it on the lines to keep the chains moving. We've got to do that. So we're going to be talking about that tonight as well. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're also going to talk about a lot of people that think we should take a running back in the first round. This thing really got spun up. It really got spun up. And I love hearing, the takes from every Jets fan. I love it all. I love it all. You know, I love going back and forth with my Jets fan, but there's a lot of people that are saying, hey, listen, if Najee Harris or Travis Etienne is sitting there at 23, we need to take him, point blank, period. And I respect those people, but it's tough. It's tough for me to say that we need a running, or we should take a running back at 23 or even at 34 in the second round. It's tough for me to say that as well, because guess what? This team needs a lot. There's a lot of holes on this roster. There's a lot of issues up front. And let me tell you something. A running back is nothing without an offensive line, and we have issues there. Big issues, and we saw that all year last year. We have big-time issues, big-time holes on that line, and things that we need to fill. So I cannot see us taking a running back that high. Again, and also you can look at the situation too with our scheme. It's a running back by committee type of system. You really don't need that stallion back. You don't. You can go in with the Shanahan system that's being brought here and really have success with a multi-back system. You can also see as well here that if we don't make sure, that we make sure that holes are going to be opened up, we're going to have issues. We had issues. Remember when we brought in Le'Veon Bell? Couldn't go anywhere. The offensive line couldn't open up holes, and there was nothing to be seen. We've got to make sure that we address the needs on this football team. And outside of offensive line, you can look at the cornerback position. There's needs there. Pass rusher, there's needs there. Linebacker, there's needs there. There's so many other needs. It's just tough for me to say that we should take a running back in the first or early in the second round. But we're going to talk about that as well. We also re-signed Daniel Brown, a tight end, so we brought him back. I want to hear y'all folks' thoughts about that. We also opted out as well of the in-person voluntary workouts. I want to hear people's, feelings about this. So we're going to talk about this. I'm telling you, we got a lot to talk about tonight, people. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. If you're watching me, no matter where you're watching me from, please give my show a thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Or give me some hearts or wherever you're seeing me at. You know what I'm saying? And also share my show as well. Retweet it if you're seeing me on, any of your social media. Share my show along your social media. Share it wherever you're seeing it at. I really, truly appreciate it. And if this is your first time watching me, please subscribe. Subscribe and turn on that notification button. You know what I'm saying? But we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and get to the lines. We're going to go ahead and get to these lines because we got quite a bit of people that want to talk. Again, 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Please call in. The lines are open. So we're going to get to my guy, man. I think this is my dude, Angelo. I think Angelo's calling in. Angelo, my man, how are you doing?
Man, my first caller.
I'm telling you, I tell people.
First time. All right.
I tell people they get in early. We get it.
I was ready, man. I got your notifications on for YouTube now, so I got it. I'm smart now, so every time you go live, boom, I get the notification, man, and you're on. First, dude, I want to appreciate everything you're doing.
Hold on a second. Let me give you a hand. Let me give you a hand real quick. Give this man a hand. Give him a hand. Turn on those notifications. Boom, you see me. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to you, Angelo. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, so I actually called last week, and I don't know if you remember, but my call got disconnected. I was actually at work.
Yeah.
And I got called in, so I'm glad I got you now. So I'm glad to continue the conversation. And usually you start with the question.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You got a question for me?
Yeah. So right now, of course, we're talking the, final predictions for the draft. We got it. It's coming up. It's like a couple days away. I believe like 9 days away. So let's start at the top. Who's the quarterback that you're taking? Who do you think is going to be able to come here and be the face of the New York Jets franchise for the next 10 years?
So I think it's a decision between my head and my gut. I think my gut is telling me to take Zach Wilson, right? Because he's the pick. He's got a lot of potential. There's a lot of talent there. I think my head is telling me to take Justin Fields because I feel like he's the more complete man. He's been rated a number one overall quarterback for his whole life pretty much. And Zach Wilson kind of had to start from the bottom and move up. And what I was thinking about today is when Zach Wilson, he had some recruit. I think he wanted to go to Utah. Then he was recruited at Boise State. And then BYU's offensive coordinator, I think it was Ty Detmer, he did not reach out to Zach Wilson at all. And I think when he got fired, the new guy that came in wanted Zach Wilson, brought him to BYU, was going in his freshman year doing pretty well, but obviously we know about the injuries. And then he still played with the injuries in his sophomore year. I think he broke his thumb, the torn labrum. Now, his junior year, we all saw last year, was great. But remember, there was he was supposed to be playing 5 opponents from power conferences, and they all got canceled for COVID. So he had a cakewalk schedule last year. So I'm worried about Zach Wilson now going to the NFL, kind of like his freshman year in college, going in, probably going to get nicked up a little bit, probably going to get hit a couple times. We're just going to see. I think Justin Fields is better prepared for those type of hits than Zach Wilson.
Okay.
So So I think Joe Douglas knows that if we're drafting Zach Wilson, boom, the second pick has got to be an offensive line.
Okay.
The third pick has got to be an offensive line, because we did not. That just has to be it. I think if you get Zach Wilson, you got to build a lot. You got to build a wall in front of him, and that's the only way he's going to succeed with the Jets. So are you talking about the running backs?
Whoa! Wait a second. Before, because we got time. I want to hear your takes on this, Angelo. And look, I hear you. So you're looking at you're thinking we're taking Zach Wilson. That's your prediction, and I respect that. I think you'd have to build a wall either way. I understand why you're saying maybe Justin Fields would. We would still have to build the line, but we wouldn't be an immediate need. I know people that think, he's mobile, he can move out of hits and things, but you definitely don't want your quarterback having to scramble and get out of there immediately, right? So, of course, we're going to take a quarterback at number 2. You got Zach Wilson, but another element to this, I think, is, and I want to ask you this question, you're a guy that wants to take Zach. You look at the situation. Do you believe that Zach will be able to thrive under the pressure that's coming, when you play in New York? Do you think that he'll be able to thrive in that? Because, Angelo, just the same way as me. Jets fans expect you to be Aaron Rodgers. The media's on top of you. Do you think that he'll be able to survive that and be able to really be successful here under those conditions?
He seems like a humble kid. I mean, he's always got a smile on his face. I just kind of feel like I think his first 2 years might be a little rough. Like I said, I think if you're drafting Zach Wilson, like I said, I think it's not going to be an immediate success. I think he's someone that we're going to look at. He's like he did in college. He had a rough first 2 years. I think he's going to come to NFL and kind of continue that trend, having a rough couple of years. And then maybe in the third year, you might see a big increase, kind of like what Josh Allen did. And I think and like I said, the pressure is on the whole organization, man. I mean, you got a new head coach, new OC, DC. Joe Douglas is still pretty new in there. So this is kind of a collective pressure that the whole organization is carrying right now because, man, we are at a crossroads this year. We are either turning left or we are turning right. And that's and this is going to define Joe Douglas's career.
Yeah.
And, as far as the pressure, man, coming from BYU, now playing in New York City and the New York Jets, I wouldn't handle that pressure. I mean, that would be very tough for me. But we'll see how the COVID situation turns out, because if those stadiums aren't packed, that might be a little easier for him to get adjusted to the NFL, where all of a sudden you're not thrown out into the first game of the year and it's a packed stadium and this and that, So that might also help where the capacity of the stadiums are going to be drastically reduced. So that's another thing to consider as well. I think that will also help with the pressure. You don't have all these screaming fans, but like I said, I think you got to get a veteran in there, and you got to have someone that's going to calm him down. So I mean, right now you got we know our backup quarterback situation. We got White and Morgan. Okay, those guys don't have any advice for Zach. I mean, maybe a little bit of advice for Zach Wilson, but you know what I'm saying? You need a guy in there like a Josh McCown did for Darnold. Hey, like I'm sure Darnold had a little bit of help, but did that really help Darnold succeed? I don't know. So to be honest with you, I think the pressure is going to be a problem. And I think it's going to be almost hopefully like a slow progression, that it slowly gets better. Because I think, like I said, if he struggles, we know, look at Peyton Manning, his rookie year. I think they went 3-13. Like, we know rookie quarterbacks are going to come out and they've had bad seasons. We know Josh Allen was an immediate all-star. So I feel like as us fans, hey, we're going to take our time with Zach. He's like a stock. We are invested in you. You don't need to give us the games the first game of the year or the first season, but we want to see a slow increase in our return, right? That way, at the end of the 15 years, 20 years, we have him all the way at the top. So I think if that's the way it's going to go, that's what you need to see, the bigger picture. Okay, it's not about just this one game. It's about your career now. We need a career-changing quarterback, finally.
Yeah. Look, I'm right there with you, and I hear you're spitting fire right now. And like you said as well, you look at the situation. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him coming here. And again, and I think honestly, I think the pressure is going to be ratcheted up a little bit as well because we just parted from Sam Darnold. So that pressure is going to be there because he's going to be the savior to come in here and save us. A lot of people believe that Sam Darnold was going to be the guy, and regardless of what Jets fans think or how it happened, we're moving on from him, and now we're bringing another guy in here. So he's going to come in, be the savior. He's supposed to come in here, be the face of the franchise. And this is Joe Douglas's decision here. This is his first decision at quarterback. This is his guy. This is his stamp right there, on the franchise, point blank, period. So there's going to be a lot of pressure there. And whoever we take, whether we take Wilson or Fields, I know you're a Wilson guy. He's got to come in here and really be ready for everything that we have. So now I want to move to pick 23 with you, man, because there's a lot of discussion surrounding this pick, dude. A lot. Are you a fan that wants to see the New York Jets take Travis Etienne at 23?
Okay, so here's another thing. One more thing about the pressure that's going to lead into this answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we Jet fans know we did not get we got little offensive line help this free agency when we thought we were going to go get Tooney.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we would have brought in Tooney and brought in Lindsley and brought in these, high-priced offensive linemen that can help Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, I think then there would be more pressure on Zach Wilson. But I think because we know we haven't really completed our offensive line yet, we know there is a high chance that there is going to be two rookies playing on our offensive line next year, or possibly, or maybe at some point during the year. So that's another pressure thing because it's like, okay, well, I'm not coming in with a Pro Bowl center and a Pro Bowl guard that's, going to be helping me in practice because those guys in the offensive line, those guys help the quarterback. So now with Travis Etienne at like 23, like I said, very attractive pick. I mean, he's probably going to be great. And he's probably going to be great for some team. I just don't think we are set up for that right now. Okay. And I know the last show you talked about trading down, and I think that's probably where, if it comes down to where Travis and Najee Harris are still there, and I don't know if both of them they might both still be there.
Mm-hmm.
I could see a team like Pittsburgh or someone trading up a couple spots to get that. Now, if Joe Douglas wants more assets, if he feels like, hey, should I take this running back here? Maybe we're not ready, but hey, we can get these other assets in return, moving down a couple spots and still getting a Creed Humphrey, who's kind of a late first-round pick. And some people have us taking him with the early second-round pick because I really like him. But I don't know the value of pick 23 with these offensive linemen. I don't know if Creed is good. I mean, yeah, but we'll take him at 23 if he's there. But if you think you can trade back a couple spots, and I think that's it. Because what I'm noticing in this mock draft is certain position players are falling. There's a lot of good position players at the top.
Yep.
So every now and then you'll see Greg Newsome fall, right? Greg Newsome I like a lot, but a lot of times he's been taken high now. Sometimes you see Kwity Paye fall. Sometimes you see Elijah Vera Tucker fall. So I feel like with these groups of position players, there's always going to be about one or two that is falling. That is going to be like, oh, wow, this guy fell. It's a linebacker. I saw the line, like Micah Parsons sometimes falls, and the guy from Notre Dame. So It's like, I feel like hopefully for us, that person to fall is the need that we need at the position, at the offensive line. So in the best case, if Elijah Vera Tucker falls, that's it. But now if a Najee Harris falls, if a Greg Newsome falls, if a Kwity Paye falls, I think we got to make the determination, should we take this guy even though we don't know if he's a big need, or could we trade down a couple spots for a team that will give up a lot to do that?
Yeah, that's a great take, and I
personally,
that's a great take, and like you said as well, for me, I look at the situation, and if for whatever reason, Vera Tucker's not there. Again, like you said, guys are falling. I've seen Tevin Jenkins, another guy that I thought was going to go, pretty high, maybe in the teens. I've heard people talk about him being a target for the Jets at 23 where he could fall. So there's a lot to be, asked there. But again, I think that we definitely need to address the offensive line at that pick. And I think, like you said, if Vera Tucker's there, of course, I'm going to take him. He's a guy that I've talked about constantly. But if Tevin Jenkins is there as well, I'll take him too. For me, look, I love Najee. I think he's amazing. I know the Najee Harris fan base been on me. It'd be like, Joe, come on. You seen the gloves. You seen the Alabama. You seen him jump over guys. What's wrong with you? Look, I get it, okay? Y'all ain't got to keep coming after me. You throw tomatoes at me constantly. You know what I'm saying? All right, slow down. You know what I mean? No need to boo me. I'm trying to show everybody respect here. Look, I like him. But taking a running back at 23 when we have so many other holes is just it's just not feasible for us, and I don't believe it. So, like you said as well, you would look to take Vera Tucker or a trade down. So my next question for you is, you look at this second round, and I know you said, hey, you would like to see if Creed Humphrey is there in the second, but would you be interested in taking a corner in the second round at all? Is that something that would interest you there? If we do take, of course, we're taking quarterback at the second pick, we're taking offensive line, at 23. Are you taking a cornerback at 34?
So I think the good thing with your Najee Harris and your Travis Etienne takes is that maybe we're not set up for a running back this year, but that's something we can use our second first-round pick next year. Because, like I said, we got Tevin Coleman, LaMichael Pirine, and I forget the other guy's name that kind of had a breakout last year. So I think we got a pretty crowded running back room right now. Yes, I liked him. See, I mean, he was good last year, and you saw what he did with the minimal offensive line. And then we all know Pat Afflein started playing well, and Fant was playing pretty well. And I think that, like I said, I think you can probably wait on the running back for next year. So now corner is a guy that we need. But, again, it all depends on who is there. Yeah. So, again, Greg Newsome is the number one guy, I think, for me, right? Okay. And there's a couple other guys that you got to see under the radar, like a Paulson Adebo and Aaron Robinson. Yeah. But I think those are more third-round guys. So I think Joe Douglas is going with the need, man. If you can get maybe Elijah Vera Tucker in that first pick, if he falls like the number one offensive guard pretty much, you could see about one of the tackles that are there. I don't know. I think we got to double dip, man. I think we got to go back to the Nick Mangold, the Brickashaw Ferguson days. Yeah. Because remember, the last time we did that, how long were we good? Oh, yeah. We were good for years, man.
Yeah. That's absolutely true.
So,
yeah. Look, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I've looked at this situation time and time again, and I've said, hey, the Jets need to double dip, man. I have no issues being straight up, okay, we're taking a quarterback at 2, 23 offensive linemen, 34 offensive linemen, and then, maybe in the third we address corner, pass rush, or something like that. Hell, I'm even interested in, I'm going to ask people as we continue to go down, I'm interested in maybe the Jets use a third rounder to trade back up into the second round and maybe grab a guy if he's sliding or falling, or be able to snag another talent in the second round. So that's something that we can do too. But, so those things are there. Those options are there for us. So my final question for you before I let you go, salute to you, and again, thank you for calling in, Angelo, is you look at this situation here. This draft is extremely important. How many players do you think have to be starters that Joe Douglas gets out of this draft? How many of these draft picks have to come in and start immediately for this to be a successful draft for Joe Douglas?
Good question. What a great question, man. What a way to finish it. Good for you, man. I would say, now you got to remember, we might draft a kicker, right? So I would assume a kicker in the late, maybe the whatever, that he's gonna count, right? So we're kind of inflated now. I think I've seen some mock drafts where we get a kicker. So if you get a kicker in the 6th round, he's gonna start, obviously.
Okay.
So, man, you got to think the first 2 round pick, the first round pick, the second round pick. Man, that's a good question, man. I would say at least the top 3 picks. Okay. And then you're going to go with the 3rd round pick, hopefully one of the 3rd round picks.
Okay.
But you know what? It depends because, I think a perfect situation, like you were saying, that Tevin Jenkins was available at 23 because he's a beast, and I think he can play guard. Okay. And then you get a Creed Humphrey at 34. So you got your kind of your guard tackle at 23, who can probably move over when Fant's gone. You got your long-term center in Creed Humphrey. Then you go in the third round, and then you get maybe Paulson Adebo or some cornerback that we really like, because you can still get a good value in the third round. So that's the thing. I think Bless Austin and Bryce Hall are going to be the starters. So I think if you're drafting a corner in the third round, he might. It depends on what is Brian Poole waiting for? What are we doing?
I don't know. That's what honestly, I don't know. I don't think we're bringing him back. I think we're going to try to go into this draft and fill that spot. But that's why when I talk about this cornerback situation, a lot of people are not. They're just thinking about Bless Austin and Hall. But we need to fill out. We got other holes there, man. We need to make sure that we can get some young guys in here that's going to secure the slot and even figure out, if Bless Hall or Austin should be number 1 or 2. Bless Austin is not that good. I would not like to see him come back as our number 1 corner. So we got to address it. But, we only got so many picks, you know what I'm saying? So
and Richard Sherman?
Yeah.
Richard Sherman is going to wait, but I don't think we're bringing him in. I don't, he doesn't want to come here and be a babysitter.
Yeah.
He wants to go to a team like Pittsburgh and Buffalo and hopefully, make it deeper in the playoffs. He's not going to come here just because he likes Saleh and I'm not, there's no point in bringing him in. I mean, it'd be I would like it. Don't get me wrong. It's good for us. I think it'd be great, but for Richard Sherman, he's like, nah, I don't care how much you pay me. And so you're right.
Yeah.
In the third round, you got to think if we don't bring back Poole, you're probably going to draft someone that's going to be replacing Poole or anybody in the corners or the safeties.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know if we're going to go with Alex. Our whole offensive line situation, man. Hopefully we draft two starters there. We get a starter at corner, a starter at kicker, and then maybe a linebacker can play. And
I
don't know, man. It's going to be a long season.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be some issues. But listen, Angelo, I want to thank you for calling in, my man. It was great to speak with you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. You had one heck of a call. Give him a hand, folks. Let's give him a hand.
Thanks, man.
Let's give him a hand.
Yeah.
Let's respect him. I respect him. I respect it, Angelo. Again, man, thank you for calling. Yeah, all right. You should have yourself a good night, my man.
See you, man. Good for you. See you.
Listen, Angelo was hot, man. He came in hot tonight. He really brought takes. We're talking. You know what I'm saying? We're talking all Jets. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639. Call in. The lines are open. They are open. I want to hear your takes. Next, we're going to 845. 845, we're coming directly to you. Salutes. Thank you for calling in, my friend. Give me your final prediction on this Jets pick at number 2. Who are you taking? What is the quarterback, that you are taking at the top of this draft at number 2?
Hey, Joe, what's up? It's Chidi. I honestly think at number 2, we're taking Zach Wilson.
Okay.
I think it's a done deal. But as for the 23rd pick, I have no idea. It could go a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that we're going to get a solid starter. Two solid starters. Obviously, we got Zach Wilson. He'll be starting at quarterback. And then we'll have a solid either a cornerback, an edge, or an offensive lineman at 23. I think that somebody has to fall, whether it be Newsome, Caleb Farley, or you can have Quiddy Pays and the Gregory Rousseau's and Elijah Vera Tucker. If you're going offensive line, there's going to be a lot of options, and that's what's going to be so interesting to see what the Jets do on our draft night. I'm excited to see where we can actually improve this kid.
Yeah, so again, I want to thank you for calling in. So you're a guy that's sold on Zach Wilson. I just want to start there with you. You're sold on Zach Wilson at number 2. Would it shock you if the New York Jets took Justin Fields at 2?
It would shock me. I wouldn't be mad if they did. But definitely at this point, it just seems like it's a done deal from everything I've been hearing. And I could be completely wrong. Obviously, you never know. Sometimes things leak, and they leak it on purpose to throw them off on the draft. So if that's the case with Zach Wilson, I will be utterly shocked because it seems like His family is already sold on it. They're liking, Jets posts and everything. So it seems like they know they're going to New York. But at this point, if they got Justin Fields instead, I'm not mad at it. I think Justin Fields is going to be a star in the league as well. So I think when it comes to the Jets and their position, we're in a great place to turn things around with all the picks we have. We have, some great quarterbacks coming out this year. If we choose to go with Justin Fields, that's fine. Or Zach Wilson, potentially either one of those guys could be better than Trevor Lawrence. People act like Trevor Lawrence is God. I don't think that's necessarily set in stone.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. Jacksonville.
Yeah, listen, people been dumping on Trevor, and I didn't say it. For all the Lawrence clan that's out there, y'all want to come after me? Look, I didn't say that. I think Trevor's a solid quarterback, okay? I've always respected him. But I'll tell you what, everybody that's been calling has been dumping on Trevor Lawrence now,
Here we go!
Jets fans been talking about how he's overrated. He's not as good as we thought he was, so on and so forth. There's been a lot of people calling in, bringing the fire to Trevor Lawrence, especially since those comments. I've been hearing, we think he's a quitter, so on and so forth. I'm just saying that's just what I've been hearing from a lot of people.
I'm not going to say that. I can't go that far with Trevor Lawrence because honestly, he's a great competitor. I'm not going to take the comments he made to the heart because honestly, the same people who are kind of going on him now are the people calling him like, "Hey, check for Trevor before." So I can't. I'm not one of those hypocritical fans. But as far as him being better than Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, as to be said still. I think people have coronated him already as if he's going to win a Super Bowl, and there's nothing that we know. We don't know that. I think he's great. I think he'll be great, but I don't know if he's going to be better than these two guys. We'll find out. It depends on obviously where they go. The system matters, but I think that what the Jets have an opportunity to is completely revamp the culture, revamp the system that we have, and completely revamp the culture and form an identity with the team. Like for instance, if we go at 23 and get an edge rusher, let's say Quiddy plays ball. I know it's unlikely, but we would have one of the best defensive lines in the entire NFL.
Okay.
And I know San Francisco was legitimately winning games with their defensive line. So with Robert Saleh, in the defensive scheme they're running now, I believe if they go with edge with the 23rd pick or the next pick in the second round to solidify that other side, we're going to win some games this year just off the defensive line. I'm telling you. So there's a lot of ways that we can take some big leaps from winning 2 games last year. I think that we could increase that to maybe 8 and 9, I guess, and I'll be happy with that, honestly. If Zach Wilson comes in or Justin Fields comes in and gets us to 8 and 9 with the pieces they put around him, but unfortunately, we didn't put around.
Yeah, but here's my deal, and I just heard you talk about the Jets possibly taking an edge rusher there, and I understand that take there because a lot of people aren't talking about that either. But my issues with that is if you're taking an edge rusher at 23. Doesn't that just open you up to get your offensive line destroyed next year? Because we had big-time issues with interior pressure, and I don't see how Zach Wilson coming in here and running for his life is going to get us to where, that 9 and 8 or, getting us, 9 wins or 7 wins or something like that if he's running for his life. And so that's what I'm wondering is, can the Jets even afford to take anything but an offensive lineman at 23?
You make a fair point, and coming into this,
I
know we've talked about it in the past. I've talked about it in the past. I wanted Joe Douglas to come in here and get the best offensive line group in the NFL. So I completely am with you if we take an offensive lineman with the 23rd pick, or even if we get one in the second round. But I've heard that this is a deep offensive line draft. So I wouldn't be too against getting a stud edge and then getting an offensive lineman in the early second round, and so like a guard or a center. Now, granted, I do think the wise decision is going your route and getting that offensive offensive lineman, whether it be guard or center, or maybe it's Tevin Jenkins who can switch him to guard. I don't know, he's a tackle. And if he drops, or if depending on whoever drops, if there's a solid one there that you know is going to just shore up that line, yeah, we take him. You know, we take him for sure because honestly, we give Zach Wilson what we didn't give Sam and give him a real opportunity to show what he got in the pocket. You know, but I think that the edge position, if we do that and we get known as an identity team or on defensive, a defensive team that, hey, when you come to New York, you're going to have to deal with that line. And if we get known for offensive line, I'm not going to be mad about it. You know, I know we got to protect our quarterback, and I think that we'll go guard or center in the second round as well because it's the big people offensive line draft. Mm-hmm. But if we get a stud edge and if he falls, I can't. Like something in me is like if Kwity Paye falls, we gotta take him because he's that good of a talent, and I think that he would completely, you know, our defense will help help our secondary and our and the front line will be monstrous at that point. Yeah. And then we can go, you know, offensive line in subsequent rounds. But I'm not going to be mad either way. Even if we get cornerback in the first round, a cornerback even will go Greg Newsome or who's Samuel Jr. You know, possibly coming to the team.
But what is your prediction? Who's the guy that you think is going to be there? The Jets are going to take guy that you want. Who's your final prediction for 23? Who's the guy? Come on, G. I'm not going to let you slide out of this, bro. Come on, bro.
I don't even think that I can do that right now because it's because with the number 2 pick.
Y'all hear that car wreck?
Zach Wilson.
Y'all hear that car wreck? Y'all hear this man he just hit a rail. Did you just hear this? You hear the car wreck? You hear it? You know what I'm saying? Look, another one. You hear it? He just hit a car wreck. He tried to slide out of here. We'll say it again.
Zach Wilson is my pick. Number 2 pick.
Okay, and 23. Give us your final. What is that? 23. Say it. Who is it?
All right, 23. If he's there, Elijah Vera Tucker.
All right. How hard was that? Was that hard? You know what I'm saying? Was it that hard? Really? Give him a hand. Damn. Give him a hand. Wasn't that hard? You know, he did everything to dance around that. Yeah, he did everything to dance around it.
There's a lot of great players that we can get there.
All right.
Yeah. So, it's hard to do.
Yeah, I respect that. There is a lot of good players, but come on. You know what we need. You know what time it is. Yeah. Give us that prediction, G. But listen, my final question for you is, you talked about the second round. You talked about guys, you know, possibly being taken there as well, second round picks that could be there. What are your thoughts about the idea of the Jets trading back into the second round, maybe using a third rounder, pairing it with one of their thirds to trade back in late into the second round? How do you feel about that? Is that something you think the Jets should be interested in?
Absolutely. As many picks as we can get to bolster this team, I'm down. I think that if they have an eye for a talent that, and Joe Douglas has done this in the past with Mims, you know, so I think that he has an eye for, hey, this guy might not be getting taken, and we can still trade down and still get him. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's done it in the past. I can see him doing it again. So if he's going to be a draft wizard like he was in his first draft and getting Mims and trading all the way back and then also getting another third-round pick, I'm all for it. You know, I think that we like, as you said, we say all the time, we have a lot of holes on the team. Yeah. We want to take another swing at the bat, get some more picks. I'm all for it. Okay. Yeah, listen, I want to thank you for calling in today, G. You know, you tried to slide out of that question, but, you know, your answers are solid, man. You know what you're talking about, and you know your Jets. You know what I'm saying? I respect you. I ain't got nothing but respect. You know, I ain't got nothing but respect. Listen, salute to you, my pleasure, man. Love the show.
Absolutely. And thank you for calling in tonight, my friend.
Yeah, salute to you. Take care, man. Have a good week.
I have a good one. You know, he called in. He was solid. But I need to hear your predictions. I need to know. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to say, oh, I said this, oh, I said that. Well, I didn't really say that. That's not the guy I said I wanted. Yeah, you did. Put it on paper. I need to hear it. I'm putting my takes out there. I'm getting the scolding. You think that the Herndon Hive is going to let me go? No. Do you think I want Chris Herndon here as our starting tight end? Please.
Hell no.
Hell no.
To the no. Hell to the no.
No.
Hell to the no.
Chris Herndon sucks. He sucks. What do you, I put it out there. It is what it is. But we're going to keep getting to these lines. We'll see what happens. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number you can call in. We are live. And wherever you're watching me, no matter where you're watching me from, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me some hearts, wherever it is. Also, share my show as well. And also, listen, when you call in, I can see you, okay? Don't call in and hang up, call in and hang up, call in and hang up. You'll go to the back of the line, and you'll be in the abyss. I will never be able to bring you on the show, all right? Don't do that. Just call in and wait. Be patient. Everyone's going to get their time. So now I'm going to go to my guy, Mike, man. I think it's my guy, Mike from Jersey City. Mike, salutes. My man.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, my man? How are you feeling tonight? Listen, we got a couple days before the draft. It's coming up. I need to get your final prediction. You already know what time it is. Final prediction. Who are you taking it to? Who do you want to see the Jets take at number 2?
Well, listen, I got to go with anybody that Saleh and Douglas are joined at the hip. I'm putting my faith in them. I'm going Kyle Wilson, and I'm okay with that. But
you going Zach Wilson, you mean?
If you would allow.
Zach Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
the BYU guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm out for a walk and I'm discombobulated. but I will say I have a different approach that I'm kind of looking at rather than naming names. And I'm going to posture the question this way: where do you want to see the Jets in 1 year from now? In other words, I want them to win, but they're not going to win the Super Bowl. So the record's, in my view, is really out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And now, they're going to try and bring in Saleh's guys to run his systems. But him and his coaches are going to have to coach the guys that are there until they transition over.
Mm-hmm.
So really the question that I have, or that I would like to posture, is where would you like to see them a year from now? We're having a conversation a year from now, a couple of weeks before the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we? What questions do we want answered? And to me, it's I want the quarterback and the offensive line answered. The other stuff you can plug and play. They're not going to win the Super Bowl this year,
Mm-hmm.
but really, this critical question: you want to have the quarterback solidified and the offensive line. To me, and one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
What they could do is I don't know if Orlando Pace Jr. is still out there, but possibly get him, flip Becton over to the other side, and resolve some of their offensive line issues there. But I agree with the prior caller.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to get 2 young guys. Mangini actually did a pretty good job drafting. I mean, he got like I'm going blank and getting a little nervous, but he got the Mangold.
And Ferguson, the Brigishaw Ferguson.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in one draft. And those guys were, 10 years together?
Yeah. Well,
the Brickshaw, I don't think he ever missed a game.
Yeah. Listen, here, and this is the great question. Again, I want to thank you for calling in. Where do I want to see the New York Jets? You don't want the record. I understand that. Because, you could still, again, we're a team that's still building. I want to see our quarterback position. I don't know if you'll necessarily know in year one whether the quarterback position is answered, right? Because if you look at guys like Josh Allen,
fair.
Josh Allen's first year, if you thought that if you got 1 year to answer the question, the Bills would have been moved on from him, right? Even Lamar Jackson's first year, he had some spots where it was some some flashes, but it was like there's still some improvement there need to be made. So I'd like to see some flashes. I'd like to see some some things that give you warm and fuzzies about the quarterback position, because I don't necessarily know if it'd be answered. I'd like to see us get something from the quarterback position where we'll go, okay, we can build on that. We can continue to see growth. We can continue to see maturity. It's kind of the same way we did with Sam, where there were flashes, there were things there where we were like, wow, we can see this, going somewhere. That's what I want to see from the quarterback position.
Right.
From the offensive line position, I would like to get some questions answered as well, even though, I know there's going to be young guys on there. Offensive linemen, the guys that we bring in, we've got to see if we can shore that up. I need to see that, because if you can't be dominant up front, you're going to get dominated every single week. We've seen supreme talents, quarterback talents in this league. We saw Patrick Mahomes get mauled in the Super Bowl and look just like Sam Darnold did, because his protection was breaking down constantly.
Right.
So unless you have the answers up front, right, we're going to struggle and have issues. So I need to make sure that my offensive line is solidified up front. But another point that a lot of people are not talking about, I need to know if my cornerback position is decent. right? I need to know where my cornerback position is, because the quickest way to lose a football game in the NFL is by quarterback or cornerback, right? Because either you're going to throw, interceptions, not go anywhere and give up 6, or you're going to give up 6 defensively and just have guys running past you, and you're going to give up a bunch of touchdowns. So I need to see some type of step up from our cornerback position. Is Bryce Hall the guy? If he is, okay, let's put him in a position. Let's see if he can actually bring something to us. Or do we need to bring in a young cornerback? I need to see my cornerback position step up and get better. And I understand people talk about the pass rush, the potential pass rush that we have, especially with Lawson being added. Vinny Curry, he's still a veteran guy. I think they're going to bring him in and kind of work him in as kind of a situational pass rush, stuff like that. Quentin Williams, we're expecting big things out of him. But we need to make sure that our corners are going to be able to seal guys up and get it together. Because if we don't, we're going to have big time issues. So that's what I want to see. But I want to go to number 23 with you. And I want to get your opinion there. There's a lot of people looking and saying that they think we should take Najee Harris at 23 if he's sitting there. Do you agree with those people?
Yeah, I know you're going to press me for a name. I can't give you a name right now. I have to say, no. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
I think they need to see how the flow of the draft comes and what opportunities present themselves.
Okay.
They may get somebody they fall in love with that falls into their lap, and I think you got to be. I think we got to be a little bit flexible. But I would say this: when it comes to Zach Wilson. Listen, this is New York. We fall in love with these guys. We do this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to give him some slack on the way in. You can't expect him to come in and be Namath and light it up and all that stuff. You got to be patient with the guy.
Man.
Number one. And one other thing, I want to reach back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if the Jets? Now this is the Jets. Remember their makeup. Their football team makeup, right? And remember, if they would have picked Dan Marino as opposed to Ken O'Brien, everyone's like, "Oh, we would have had so many Super Bowls." Dan Marino should thank God every day he wasn't drafted by the Jets, because he had a couple of knee injuries and was never touched from Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, Ken O'Brien got beaten up his whole time, so Dan Marino would not have been Dan Marino, with the Jets. Between the coaching staff and the offensive line, I think that would have been an absolute nightmare for him. But that's just my opinion. What do you think?
The thing, and that's why, and I started the show off with this. I was talking to people and I said, listen, it's not just about the talent that you have as a quarterback. It's also about the team you go to, who they surround you with. And that's why I talked about this new regime. They've got to make sure that they bring the talent to surround this quarterback with. Make sure he's protected. Don't have him running for his life out there. And also you give him the coaching necessary as well, too, which we failed past quarterbacks, that we've had. Hell, look who we did to Sam Darnold. We gave him Todd Bowles, and then we turned around and tried to finish him off with Adam Gase for 2 more years. You couldn't have asked any quarterback to be successful under that. I mean, come on, let's be serious here. Adam Gase? You got to be kidding me.
No.
Trash. Oh my God, that was terrible. That's a terrible thing to do to a quarterback.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah. So my final question before I let you go is, you've really brought the fire tonight. How many starters does Joe Douglas need to have coming out of this draft for you to consider it a success? How many of these picks have to come in and immediately be starters?
Well, I'm going to sound like a politician or a lawyer, and I'm going to go back to what I just said. I'm not really for me, in terms of this year, it's not how many starters they can get. It's going to be quality players that they're going to be able to build on. So I'm not suggesting they go after projects like on the offensive line. But if they do, they may see something that's a little bit deeper. They may grab a guy. And I'm not saying it should be the 23rd pick, but they may grab a guy that needs a little bit to be coached up a little bit, needs to grow into the position a little bit. So again, I'm not throwing the season out this year, and I'm not trying to avoid your question, but I'm kind of looking at it, a little bit long term. I like what Douglas is doing. And look, next year, I just want them to look somewhat presentable. Obviously have a little bit of a better record and be somewhat presentable. But it's all about building. It's all about, to me, it's getting the kids in, getting the systems in, and transitioning those systems as they get the players that they want. But it's all about the build and answering that question 1 year from now when I talk to you on your radio program. Hopefully we'll have, you know what? Yeah, we got the quarterback, and these offensive line looks pretty good. Now we can plug and play. Because your offensive line, the better they are, you know this more than anybody.
Yeah.
The running back's going to be better. The passing game's going to be better. That's going to make everybody else offensively better.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I respect. You think I was gonna stand there and listen? Yeah, it was an evasion. I respect it, but you evaded. I like, you dip stepped and got up out of there. But I respect your answer. I respect it. Look, I'm right there with you. This team definitely needs to step up. We need to make sure that we get guys in here. But for me, I think there's the number of starters that Joe Douglas gets out of here, especially that first and second round. Those guys got to come in here and immediately play. You can't have guys that, hey, well, we think we can sit you behind a guy on the bench. No, especially if we're talking about offensive line help. Whoever we get in those, especially with those first two picks, are going to definitely need to come in here and put things together. But listen, man, you've had a great call. I want to thank you for calling. Okay. Give him a hand, audience. Give him a hand. I like this guy.
Can I have one more question?
I like it. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and ask your question, and I'll let you go. Go ahead.
Okay, so Zach Wilson comes in. Sorry, I'm fumbling. He comes in. I mean, do you throw him into the fire immediately? Do you sign a veteran and kind of help him along the way, or you just throw him right into the fire? I don't know.
No. Yeah, and again, I want to thank you for calling in. Listen, yes, he's going to immediately be the starter. Should we sign a veteran to help him come along and help him, behind? Absolutely. Like we said, Sam had that. McCown. Yes, we should sign a veteran. So and not even that, just in case, knock on wood, let's say he takes an injury. Then what do? We need to make sure we have somebody in here, because Morgan and those guys are terrible. Morgan didn't even play last year. We don't even know what he is. So, yes, we need to make sure that we get a veteran in here to help coach him along. But, yes, he should immediately be the starter. There's no way you should bring that kid in here and he not play open day. No one's going to stand for that. The fan base will riot. Everybody will be screaming, what is the point when you bring him in? You get selected at 2, you're the day one starter. I'm sorry. That's the end of discussion. But, listen, I got to go because we got a lot of callers.
One other thing.
But thank you for calling in, my friend.
Okay,
all right?
Take care. Thank you.
All right, you have a good one.
Bye-bye. Stay well.
Listen, man, there's a lot of fire to be spit. There's a lot of people evading these questions, A lot of people evading. Get that car started. Get it started. You can't start it, and then you finally do. You know what I'm saying? Don't have a crash. Not today. Not today. So we're going to keep on going to these calls. Salute to everybody that is listening. Salute to everybody that's called in as well. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. You can call in. Be on the lines. The lines are hot. We're going to get to everybody. Please be patient. Don't call in and hang up, because I'll never see you, all right? You'll be in the mist somewhere. I will never, ever see you, all right? So please be patient when you call in. So now we're going to get to it. Salute. We're going to come to my guy, Steve, man. My guy, Steve, is up on the line. We all know that Steve is going to bring the fire as he usually does. Salutes to you, Steve. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, my friend, give me your final pick. Who's your final pick prediction for number 2 for the New York Jets? Who do you think we selected 2 in the first round?
Well, first off, Joe, thank you again for having me on the show, man. It's always great to talk to you and always talk about the Jets. I mean, with all the stuff going around the world, it's just great to get to talk to you again, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, my friend. So who are you taking it to?
So with that being said, with the second overall pick, with the second pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the New York Jets are proud to select from BYU quarterback Zach Wilson.
Okay. So you're all in on Zach Wilson. I respect that, Steve. There's a lot of people that love him. This fan base is really warmed up to the kid. Again, there was other selections that could have been out there, but a lot of people are screaming, for Zach now. They like him. They love the BYU kid, all he brings to the table. His movement, the things that he can do out there, his athleticism, his arm is being praised out the wazoo. But I look at the situation, Steve, and I say to myself, there's a lot of pressure. This ain't BYU. You come up here to New York, you know what I'm saying? There's big expectations. They want you to be Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson out the gate. Do you think that Zach Wilson will be able to survive that pressure and be successful here? Because everything and everyone is going to be on top of him, man.
Yeah, no, the thing is, when you look at this situation, Joe, it's just that the thing is, you got to make sure that whoever the quarterback is going to be, and if it is going to be Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, listen, it's going to take time to develop. Listen, he's not going to be an Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, or Russell Wilson 1, 2, 3. Okay, he needs time to develop. Everyone in New York has to be patient. Unfortunately, Joe, that is the problem about the Jets fan base. Listen, to all the Jets fans out there, yes, we haven't won a Super Bowl in over 50 years now, okay?
We ain't been in the playoffs in 10 years, Steve.
All right?
Yeah.
I know, and we haven't been to the playoffs in 10 years. But everybody's got to give that quarterback, if it's going to be Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, some time. You got to give him some time, okay? Listen, you also got to remember, it also goes on the coaching as well. Listen, when it comes to coaching, it's got to come on the coaching as well. You got to make sure that if Zach Wilson's the number 2 pick, or if it's Justin Fields, you got to make sure that he is built the right way. Because unfortunately, we failed that with Sam Darnold and with crappy coaching we gave him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, look, Steve, that was a take, man. You know what I'm saying? That was an absolute take, and I completely agree with you. We need to make sure that we do everything that we possibly can to ensure that this quarterback is set up for success. And like you said as well, the talent that we surround him with, the coaching that we surround him with is extremely important, and the environment that we put them into as well is extremely important. Now, I want to go to number 23 with you, man, because there's a lot of people talking a lot of different things, all right? There's a lot of people that look at that situation at 23 and say, hey, we should take a pass rusher at number 23. Do you agree with that?
I mean, listen, I know a lot of people want it, because the thing is, I know we haven't really had that edge rusher since John Abraham. But the thing is, though, I'm going to be very honest, Joe. I would rather feel more comfortable going offensive line at number 23.
Okay.
It's just the thing is, if Zach Wilson is our guy at quarterback at the number 2 pick, we got to protect him. Yeah. Because we've seen it the last few years of Darnold getting his butt kicked every single game by the offensive line. Yeah. You got to make sure your offensive line is built the right way. Because if your offensive line is not built the right way, then Zach Wilson's going to be running for his life every single game like Sam Darnold used to. Yeah. You got to get the offensive lineman. And at the 23rd pick, Joe, here's the thing. I know you love your boy Tucker from USC. And listen, I watched his highlights the other day, and Joe, he is a beast. I do like him a lot.
Yeah.
However, though, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be there at 23. I think another team is going to pick him up. But who I would like the Jets to see take at the number 23 spot, if he is there, Joe, I got to take Creed Humphrey. You got to take him at 23 if he is there. And Joe, we need a center, Joe, to work with a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterback, rookie center, you could develop that for many years to come.
Okay. No, listen, Steve, I hear your take there. I'm not knocking you there. I know that there's some people that are extremely high on Creed Humphrey as well. I think he's a great player, but I know that, I read a lot of different things and I watch a little bit of him, but a lot of people say that he could be a guy that's going to be in the second round, but it's interesting that you take him in the first. I'm not going to knock you for it, especially when you talk about Vera Tucker, possibly not being there. Hey, I could agree with that as well. I could see a team taking him before 23, but, again, if he's there at 23, which, there's a likelihood that he could be, I would absolutely take him. But that's interesting that you talk about taking Creed in the first. Then who are you taking in the second? Who's your prediction for the Jets to take there then, Steve? Who are you taking at 34 now that you took Creed Humphrey, at number 23?
If Tevin Jenkins is there at number 34, I would take him.
Well, I think look, I respect you. I respect you, Steve, but I think that Tevin, I think if you flipped it, because I don't think that me personally, I don't think that Tevin Jenkins is going to be there in the second round, I do think that there's a possibility of him being there in the first round at 23. He could be there. But in the second, I don't think he's there. I think it's more likely that Creed Humphrey will be there in the second round. But look, I hear your take there. You're going offensive line back to back, and I respect that. You want to make sure that we build this wall to ensure that our quarterback is not getting beat around. And I like that, Steve. I like that a lot. I like your takes there, and I like what you're bringing to the table because you're really bringing the fire right now, Steve. And I'm loving it, man, because you want to make sure that our young quarterback succeeds. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So, Steve, when you look at this situation, you're taking, Wilson first. Then you're addressing your offensive line with the next 2 picks. I'm looking at the third round, and I'm saying to myself, hey, why not pair a third round pick? Because we got a couple. You pair a third round pick with our other one and move back up until late in the second round and get a guy. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that Joe Douglas should look to be aggressive and make trades in the mid rounds of the draft?
Yeah, and this is, no. And the thing is, Joe, when I look at this situation, listen, this is something that Joe Douglas should honestly try to do. I would like to see him be more aggressive. Already some of the things that I do like what he does is he gets the Jets draft picks. And one thing that I love and what I have seen from other successful general managers in the National Football League, sometimes you build your team great when you build a great draft.
Yeah.
Listen, I have all the faith in Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas, I think, is going to do a lot of very good things in this draft. I have the faith in him. But even after when Joe Douglas does his drafting, then at the end of the day, it now goes to Robert Saleh on how he coaches this team. And listen, I already heard from even players that are currently on the team right now that even players. Remember how back in January when all NFL analysts were saying, oh, it's going to be tough for someone to come to New York to coach this team. Yeah. But you know what? As soon as Robert Saleh accepted the job here, everybody was like, oh, my God, we got to go play for this guy. We got to go play for this guy. And it absolutely blew me away. Like I said, what a huge difference right now that what we're going to have from him than what we had with Adam Gase.
Yeah.
It's just Joe, listen, here is the thing about the thing with the Jets about this year. Because, 17-game season, listen, you got to see that at the end of the day what happens after the draft of how the coaching does as well. Because we got to make sure that this team is coached the right way.
Yeah.
Because this team not coached the right way, oh, my God, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and again, that's on Joe Douglas as well, too, because this is his coach. This is the guy that he had his choice of multiple guys that was out there. I mean, we all know the names. And he said, hey, I want to make sure that I get Robert Saleh in this building. And he signed off on it, brought the guy in here, interviewed him. The coaching search was all him. And, the Johnson signed off on it, of course, with him heading the search. And that is what it is. But we will see this year what he does, because there's going to be a lot of questions.
Too, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead. And Mike and LaFleur as well. LaFleur, too.
Yeah, no, the pressure's going to be on LaFleur as well when Mike LaFleur works with the new quarterback who's going to be our quarterback for the future. But here's the other thing, Joe, that I'm going to say now. This is the other thing that both Woody and Christopher Johnson need to do. They just need to stay back, relax in the office, and just be the owners of the team. Try not to get too hands-on with the team. I mean, listen, we already saw what happened when Christopher Johnson got Adam Gase in the building. All right, we already knew about what happened with that.
Yeah.
You know what? And that's the thing. I do like what Woody and Christopher are going to do. They are going to let Joe Douglas do his job, and I'm glad that that's happening now. And the thing is, though, it's that at the end of the day, Joe. At the end of the day, what we got to see what happens in the draft. But I'm excited for what's going to happen next Thursday night. We're 9 days away from the draft. I am excited. I will be tinkling in my pants when it's our turn to pick. It's like, oh my God, we got to get this player. We got to get this player. We got to get this right. We got to get this right.
Okay, well, don't tinkle too much. All right, Steve. Whatever you do with your pants is your business. But my final question for you before I let you go, all right, is how many players from this draft, Joe Douglas, how many picks needs to come in and be immediate starters for the New York Jets for this draft to be considered a success?
Well, out of the 10 picks that we have as of right now going into this draft, we got to make sure at least half of the players are starting. Even at 6 or 7, then it's just, listen, we got to make sure, and we got to make sure that we get this. We got to make sure we get this right, okay? Because the thing is, Joe, if we don't get this right, then there's going to be another problem. But listen, at the end of the day, I trust Joe Douglas, I trust Robert Saleh, I trust Mike LaFleur, and the rest of the new coaching staff. Yeah. We got to get this done. All gas, no brakes. Let's go.
Salute, Steve, just bringing fire. Listen, Steve, I got to get back to these lines, man. I want to thank you for calling tonight. It was phenomenal to speak to you. You have a good night, all right, my friend?
Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
You have a good one. Listen, Steve knows what's going on around here. This guy brings fire every single time. I don't know what he was talking about with his pants. I have no clue. Do I want to know? Hell no. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. No. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. You know, whatever Steve is doing with his pants is his business. You know what I mean? But salutes to him. I know a lot of Jets fans that are excited about this draft that's coming up. You know, I am as well. This is all about building the franchise. Again, we're moving forward. We're getting into the franchise quarterback in here. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing. We're going to get a guy that's going to be the head of the table here. He's going to lead this football team for the next 10 plus years. Who is it going to be? Justin Fields? Is it going to be Zach Wilson? There's some people screaming Trey Lance. I know some Jets fans that want Mac Jones. You know? I want to hear takes. Listen, 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639. Please call in. You know what I'm saying? Lines are hot. We're speaking to everybody tonight. We're talking draft. I want to hear final predictions. Don't try to evade. Give me your take. Don't crash. Keep your hands on the wheel. Don't crash. Don't try to evade. Give me your take. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody watching, wherever you're watching me from. Please give my stream a thumbs up if you're on YouTube, or a heart if you're watching me on Periscope. Wherever you're watching me from, please share my stream as well. This is your first time watching me, subscribe. Turn on your notifications so when I go live, you folks will know. I post content, you'll know. It'll immediately come to you. And salute to the chat as well. If you do not know, I live stream while I do my live radio show. I call my chat the Savages. Why? They're savage, all right? Pure savages. Nobody is safe. And I mean nobody. Not even me. Not even me. You know what I'm saying? And I go to them because they like to talk as well. I'm going to the Savages right now. Salute J.E. in the chat. Salute to him. J.E. says, draft Zaven Collins at 23 with that line. Oh, boy. That's the new sack exchange. Listen, I know that there's a lot of people out here that like Collins as well. I've heard his name be mentioned. I know that there's some Jets fans that want to see the Jets take a pass rusher at 23, and I respect it. I absolutely respect it. You know what I'm saying? They want to continue to stack the odds and get after it. And guess what? Listen, when the Giants were winning those Super Bowls, the Giants were winning, getting after guys, guess what they were doing? They were sending their pass rushers in waves. In waves. Nobody could block it. That's what got them those Super Bowls. They had guys, man. So salute to J.E. Again, salute to all the Savages in the chat. I'm going back to them again. My guy NY, Jets FL, says, I can see trading 34 and a third rounder to move into the first if he loves someone. Listen, I talked about the third round. If somebody's willing to take a third round pick for us to move back up late into the first round, maybe Joe Douglas does that. That's an interesting scenario as well. There's a lot of takes to be had. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in and please be patient. I can see everybody. Don't call in and hang up, call in and hang up, call in and hang up. All right? If you do that, I will never see you. Ever. You'll be in the abyss. I'll never hear from you. All right? So just please be patient. I'll get to everybody. So next caller I'm going to is my guy E, man. I'm going to my guy E. I need to hear his take. I need to hear his take, man. Salutes to you, E. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, man, give me your final prediction at number 2. Who are the Jets taking, man?
All right, man. Before I get into that, so you told me to get a replacement for who to talk smack about on the show to replace Sam Darnold. So I actually got 2 options. Bless Austin or Chuma Edoga. Who do I go with? I'm leaning more Bless Austin because I think he's going to play more, and I think Jet fans think he's better than he actually is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my choice. But who would you pick?
Oh man, I'm a bash Chuma all day long. Go with Bless Austin. Bless Austin. Go ahead, go with Bless Austin because, like you said, he's gonna play more. He's gonna be out there. So go ahead. If that's your new guy to pick on, go ahead and do it.
I hope not. All right, man.
So
yeah, getting to the number 2 pick. I've been saying this for a while. I think it's gonna be Wilson. I really hope it's Wilson. I like Fields too, but Wilson's my guy, man. I think he's a Jets guy too. So I'm looking forward to his name being called on draft night.
Okay. Are you a guy that is concerned about the pressure of playing New York weighing on Zach Wilson? Are you concerned about that? Because there's big expectations when you come here. Do you think he'll be able to survive and live up to it?
I'm really not, man. I'm not concerned with Wilson specifically. I'd be concerned about all these guys because even though these guys have played on the top stages of college football, it's different from playing in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too worried. I know that he knows what he's getting himself into. And hopefully he just plays well, and he doesn't have to deal with the press. Hey, Sam Darnold said it best: don't listen to the media.
Yeah.
In his Panthers press conference, he said that was his advice to the next quarterback for the Jets. So I think people are blowing it a little out of proportion, but I understand it considering he's a kid, small town kid from Utah. But hey man, some of these other guys, small town kids from the South, that's not New York. I know they played at big stages in college and whatnot, but I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. Look, I'm hoping that they just surround him and make sure that he doesn't succumb to the pressure. Because again, we've seen the media run coaches out of here. We've seen it. We've seen players that don't want to come here and play here because of the media. So we've seen these issues. I'm just hoping that Sulla and LaFleur and even Rob Calabassi, our quarterbacks coach, that they surround this guy and be like, listen, whatever goes on, hell, the entire team, the entire franchise surround this guy and says, whatever going on the outside of this locker room does not matter. Only listen to us. Don't pay attention to that stuff because they'll get after you. The fan base will get after you too. They don't like to bring that up as well. The fan base has gotten after multiple guys, quarterbacks. They booed Geno Smith at a charity event. They used to, bash Mark Sanchez as well all over the place. This fan base will get after you too. So there's a lot, but we got to make sure that he stays straight no matter who it is that we select. Now, you're a guy that's saying, hey, Zach Wilson is your guy. That's who you select, and that's who you'd like to see at number 2. That's who you stamping. Would you be shocked if the Jets drafted a guy like Justin Fields or even Trey Lance?
Yeah, I'm not expecting it whatsoever. I wouldn't say I'd be mad. I wouldn't be happy because I like Wilson a lot more, but I'd be stunned at this point.
Okay.
I'm really confident it's going to be Wilson.
Okay. Look, I respect that. So now we're going to 23. Give me your prediction for who you're taking at 23.
All right, so who the Jets are going to take, I think it's probably going to be Greg Newsome, just because I don't think Elijah Vera Tucker is going to be there. I also don't think Tevin Jenkins is going to be there. I think the Raiders are going to get him. He kind of fits that mold, the super physical player they like. They destroyed their whole offensive line for some reason this offseason, so they need a right tackle. So I think he's a good fit for them. So I think Greg Newsome's going to be there. Joe Douglas realizes how bad Bless Austin is, but needs a replacement. There's my first jab at Bless Austin of the season. He realized how big of a need it is. And, So Greg Newsome, I'm hoping it's Elijah Vera Tucker. I'd like Creed Humphrey too, but I think it'll be Greg Newsome.
Okay, so when you look at the situation, you're taking Wilson at 2. You're looking at Greg there at 23. When are you addressing this offensive line? I mean, what do you think the Jets do in the second round?
Yeah, so I would take the best guard available in the second round. And I'd be in favor of packaging 2 third-round picks to move back up in the second round if there's a guy there who falls a bit. I'd be in favor of something like that. Or if a guy falls down in the third round, you pick a guy there.
Okay, so you hold,
yeah,
hold
you
on,
definitely have to take an offense. If you're,
yeah, hold on a second, E. So you looking at packaging, two of our third round picks move up in the second, back up into the first. Where exactly do you think that'll get us though? Back into the first, like what's the, you know what I'm saying?
no. Take the 2/3, move back up into the second round.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's something.
That's way too much to give up to get up in the first.
Yeah, no. Look,
that'd be 3 picks to move up. That's crazy, man. Yeah.
No. Look, I respect it. Yeah, and that's something I brought up as well. Possibly packaging those 2 third-round picks and moving back up into the second. Even if a guy slides, or hell, even if there's guys that you covet that are there, I could see us doing that, really getting that talent. But like you said as well, making sure that we get some type of offensive line help in the second, especially if you're taking a corner at number 2, getting whatever you can there in the second will absolutely benefit us and help us, because we need to surround this quarterback with some type of talent. But even then, I'm looking at this situation, and there's other Jets fans as well that are saying, hey, in the second round, if Travis, Etienne is there, I'm taking him. Do you agree with those people, man? What are your thoughts on people that even say things like that we should take a running back in the second round?
Play the sound bite the hell to the no, because that's exactly how I feel, man.
1 second. 1 second. Here we go.
Hell no.
Hell no.
To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no.
Let him have it, E. I'm listening.
Perfect. Yeah, man. No, I explained this last time. We're not in a position to take a running back high. We got way more need. What's good? I saw someone say in the last show, "Oh, well, Najee Harris is such a dynamic player," and then I commented, "He ain't gonna be so dynamic with Alex Lewis up there." So, I mean, offensive line makes a running game. The offensive line is so much more important. The corners, linebackers, tight end, wide receiver, like all positions I'd rather take over a running back. I mean, like, let's make it do with an RB by committee. And also, you look at some of the top running backs in the league, most of them are like third-round picks.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Packers, Aaron Jones, fifth-round pick. I mean, like we said about the 49ers, they got undrafted guys, Dalvin Cook, third-round pick, Alvin Kamara, third-round pick. And, like even look back in 2018, Saquon Barkley's this generational guy. Yeah, he's a great player, but I think Nick Chubb's probably the best running back in that class. He's not a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and look at speaking of that class, Rashad Penny's done absolutely nothing. Tony Michelle's not great. Like, those guys picked in the first round. So, I mean, the value's not there. So, no, I'm not, ETN, Najee Harris, those guys are awesome. No doubt about it. And also, the thing with them too, like I'd also like a running back who has like less carries, and they've gotten a lot of carries. They already got some kind of time. Both of them, I think, played 4 years in college. Were the lead backs, got a good amount of carries. I'd prefer a guy who hasn't gotten the bulk of the carries that they've gotten.
Yeah. Look, I respect it. I know again, there's a lot of people that are against it, but this whirlwind, everyone's getting spun up. There's been a lot of Jets fans. I've had a lot of back and forth with people that want a running back at 23. They want him. And even if they don't get him at 23, they're screaming, look, make it happen in the second round. If either of those guys are there, you do it and make it happen. And so, we've had interesting, debates and arguments going back and forth. But that brings me back up into the first round, because you talked about taking a corner. Could you possibly see the New York Jets packaging picks to move up in the first round from 23 up to grab somebody? Is that something that you would be interested in?
Yeah, personally, I don't know how I feel. I would. It just really depends on who the player is.
Mm-hmm.
I do not see the Jets doing it whatsoever. Joe Douglas always talks about, I want my picks, especially your premium picks. You need to get as many. You're asking the guys here on the show, how many starters do you need? You need picks to get those starters.
Yeah.
And quality over quantity for sure. But you need players. You need bodies in here. And so I don't really see the value with it. And I mean, if someone falls, if Kyle Pitts somehow has a Laramie Tunsil has some gas mask incident and falls to the late teams, then yeah, I'll trade up for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's not going to happen. So. Yeah, I seriously doubt it.
Yeah. No, look, I respect that. I respect that, because I'm not a guy that's interested in us packaging picks as well to move up, particularly in the first round, for the reasons that you said. We're a team that has a lot of holes. We need as much as possible. I could see us maybe packaging a third to move up in the second or something like that, or maybe even, getting something back out of that trade too. But packaging picks to move up in the first, fairly expensive, especially depending on where you want to move up to. So my final question for you, E, before I let you go, man, is you look at this situation, this draft, it's really going to change the course of this franchise, man. The players that we get in, who we select, the talent that we acquire, it means a lot going forward, especially with a team that's still in a rebuild. We're still trying to figure things out. How many players from this draft do you think need to immediately come in to be starters to consider this draft a success?
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't really judge the first year, how many guys are going to be starters. I think they're all going to be eventual starters. To answer the question for this year, I'm in favor of the quarterback playing right off the bat, especially, we don't have a starter in place. I don't want to waste time out there. I want the kid to learn. So, yeah, I want Wilson or Fields playing there. That's one. I want a corner to replace Bless Austin or someone like that. Probably another linebacker because we desperately need another linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably 2 offensive linemen are probably going to start. And, hell, you draft a kicker, he's a starter, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, look, I respect it, man. Listen, E, it was great speaking to you tonight, man. You brought the fire. You absolutely brought the fire, my friend. I really liked your call, man. Listen, E, I got to get back to these lines, my friend. They're hot. I want you to have a good night, my man, and have yourself a good time. And again, when I have a show, I want to hear from you again. All right, E?
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, E calling in with the fire, calling in with absolute fire as usual, man. He brings the takes. And again, people, listen, I'm also going to be doing a live draft show for the first round. For those of you that don't know, we'll be doing a live draft show. I'll be streaming while the draft is on. We'll be talking picks right after the Jets. I believe it's right after the Jets make the first pick. I'm going to go live, and then we'll have, you folks come on. You can call into the show, and we're going to be talking while the draft is on, getting our reaction. So we'll be having a live show right here on this channel. Subscribe. Again, give my stream a thumbs up. Turn your notifications, or wherever you're watching me from. Give me hearts and follow me, across all my platforms, because we will be having a live draft show. So that's what I wanted to, put out there as well. Be prepared, folks. We're going to have a really good time. So we're going to keep getting to these lines, keep going. Next, I'm going to go to my guy. I believe this is my guy, Dylan, man. I think this is my guy, Dylan, on the line right now. I think, he's got some takes as usual. Salute to you. I want to thank you for calling in, Dylan. Dylan, give me your prediction, man. Who do you want to see the Jets take in the second pick in the first round? Dylan, 646. 646.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Joe?
Yes, 646. I got you.
Joe, it's Colin.
Oh, Colin, excuse me. Colin, salute to you.
Joe.
I thought it was still. Yeah. Colin, salute to you. How are you doing today, my friend? How are you feeling?
Good. What's going on?
What's going on, my man? So I want to give me your take, man. What do you think is going to happen, man? Who do you want to see the Jets select at the number 2, man? Who is your prediction?
Well, I think the general consensus is that everyone, including the media, all thinks it's going to be Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the pick. That's the pick I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But as I mentioned to you before, me personally, Justin Fields is my guy. So that's the guy. That's whose name I want to hear from April 29th.
Okay.
But I just feel like it's going to be Wilson based on the media and everyone else that thinks it's going to be Wilson. Just think about it. If Joe Douglas don't draft Wilson, right?
Yeah.
And he drafts Fields or anyone else, the amount of scrutiny he will get if one of those guys are not successful in the first season with the Jets.
Yeah, but can he?
And Wilson, goes to the 49ers or something like that. So,
yeah. But can he?
I think it's going to be like the safe pick for Joe Douglas.
Yeah, but
at this point,
and again, I want to thank you for calling in, Colin. It's always phenomenal to speak with you. But can he really be worried about that? If that's his guy, if that's the guy that he covets, that he thinks is going to be, that he thinks is going to take the Jets to the next level, that he thinks is going to be a very solid prospect here, quarterback that's going to be able to lead this franchise for the next 10 years. Why would he succumb to media pressure? If he succumbs to media pressure and doesn't get the right guy, that'll crush him. That'll crush him too. Doesn't get the guy that he wants, that'll crush him too, man. Because say he does pick Zach Wilson and Zach Wilson fails here, they'll bash him the same way. We've seen that. We've seen that the media plays both sides with the Jets. Both sides. So I'd be worried if Joe Douglas decides to, go with a guy that he doesn't feel, very confident in just to succumb to media pressure or even the pressure of the fan base.
Yeah, the one thing that have me like scratching my head is on Zach Wilson's pro day was when the 49ers made that blockbuster trade, right? Mm-hmm. When they go in and they give a haul to move up to the third pick. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like, the Jets are going to take Fields and the 49ers give that haul to get Wilson. Okay. I don't think it's the reverse. I don't think it's the reverse way. I don't think they give that haul to get Justin Fields. Okay. So that's just my take on the second pick. But either way, if it Fields, Wilson, Trey Lance, I like Trey Lance the most actually. Wow. The bigger quarterback. Wow. Okay. Okay. Either way, whoever the quarterback is that they draft, I think they have the potential to be successful. It's just going to happen. What's going to happen in that second round, the second pick, the second round, the third round, and so forth. Yeah. What is Joe Douglas going to do? If he doesn't hit on those picks, I think it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. I think we're going to have issues.
Absolutely, and that's where I want to go with you next, because you look at the situation at 23, and I'm saying to myself, I know a lot of Jets fans are talking about number 2 pick. That's extremely important. But the number 23 and following picks are what's going to really surround, this young quarterback with talent, whoever we take. And so I think at 23 is extremely important as well. And I'm saying to myself, I want an offensive lineman. I need somebody that's going to come in here that's going to push Lewis, going to push Van Roten out of those starting positions and solidify this offensive line, the interior of this offensive line. I need an offensive lineman that's going to come in here and be a monster and create that wall. But there's a lot of Jets fans that are looking at the situation saying that we need to take a running back. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? If Najee Harris is there at 23, are you taking him?
Originally my thought process was you take the best available player on that pick. Mm-hmm. But the more I think about it, right, get one of these offensive guys. Yeah. Right. Depends on if a player is slipping in the draft. Get one of the offensive guys at the 23rd pick. There's going to be someone there that they just can, plug and play immediately. Yeah. So, I would say get the O-line, get an O-line player on that pick.
Yeah. My thing is, and I hear a lot of people talk about that as well, is, go BPA, go best player available. My issues with best player available, and I didn't like that Mike Maccagnan would do best player available either. My issue with that is the best player available works when you're a team that is talented, right? Like you look at like the 49ers, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Saints, stuff like, teams like that. Look at the Tampa Bay even, right? Those teams are talented. They have their impact positions in lock, right? They've got great players. You can't go best player available when you're a team that is completely lacks talent the way that we do. You need to attack impact positions, and then you can go best player available. Because if best player available is a interior defensive lineman, we definitely don't need to be drafting another D tackle. If best player available is, a running back or a safety, we definitely should not be doing that, because we need corners, we need offensive linemen, we need wide receivers, we need pass rushers, we need things that are impact positions, things that other teams have that we don't. And that's why we've been so bad, because we don't. If you look in the past, especially Mike Maccagnan's drafts, a lot of his drafts were not only riddled with bust, but it's also his inability to attack impact positions and get quality impact position talent, or even get even properly draft impact positions to begin with, was atrocious. That's one of the issues here. That's why we're so bad. That's why we've been so bad for so long. His inability to figure out how to shore up the offensive line, that fell. And you saw how even Joe Douglas, he kind of struggled his first year as well. We've seen it. Bringing back Lewis, Van Roten being here. People don't even like our center. Our center has question marks all over the place as well. People want to slide him to guard. you've got to shore that stuff up. So I understand people talk about best player available, but I don't like that. I like to absolutely go to what we need immediately. And even if you feel like you're reaching, then trade down, gather more capital to where you're not reaching, and make sure that you attack your impact positions, particularly when you're drafting a young quarterback. You want to make sure that you do that. So look, I hear you. I look at that situation at 23, and I've said it as well. I'm going all line. Vera Tucker, I think if he's there, if Tevin Jenkins is there, I'm taking him too. But then you flip to the second round, and I'm a guy that thinks we should double dip and go O-line in the second round as well. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Because there's going to be good guys there still that, we can get. So I don't have an issue if we do that. If we double up and get 2 offensive guys. But at the same time, you still got to look at the defensive side as well, right?
Yeah.
If there's a corner, that's probably worth picking, and maybe you can get someone else like a Wyatt Davis might slip to the 3rd round, and you can get Davis in the 3rd round, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to get a corner. Then I think at that point you got to look at the needs, right? If there's an edge, a cornerback that's available, and you think that guy is higher on your draft board, then I think you got to grab one of those guys instead.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I respect it.
And go back into the 3rd round and get the O-line again.
Yeah. When you look at the situation, this is my final question before I let you go. You look at the situation, man, and I think that this draft, Joe Douglas has got to make it happen. How many players out of this draft do you think it'll take for this draft to be considered a success? How many players do you think have to be starters out of this draft to make this draft be considered successful?
3 players has to be starters in this draft.
Okay.
I mean, you can't have 10 draft picks and not have 1 starter. Well, you're going to have 1 starter in your quarterback, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But you have 9 additional picks, and you're telling me they're all going to be on the bench? No, you got to hit on. You got to get that 23rd pick and that 34th pick has to be starters as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Denzel Mims was like the whatever pick he was, and he's a starter, right? So,
yeah. Colin,
you got to hit on 3.
Colin, you bringing the fire right? Give him a hand, everybody. Give him a hand. I like this. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's not get too crazy in studio audience. Let's not get too crazy. You know what I'm saying? But listen, you brought the fire tonight, my man. Listen, I got to keep getting to these lines. Salute to you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, my man. You have a good night, all right?
All right, Joe. Take care.
All right. Listen, he brought the fire. He said, hey, listen, 3 picks. 3 picks. 3 of these guys got to be a starter. You can't have 10 picks and have these guys sitting on the bench, man. They got to come in and have impact immediately. Man, listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in, all right? We're talking Jets. We're talking draft. We're talking everything. Salutes to everybody again that's watching. Please give my stream a thumbs up. Also share the stream wherever you're watching me from. It's greatly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep getting to these lines, man. We're going to 973. 973, I'm coming directly to you. Salute to you. I want to thank you for calling in. Give me your prediction for the New York Jets at number 2. Who do you think they're selecting?
Hey, Joe. Beforehand, I will give you good evening. This is Darley. My prediction for number 2, even if I don't like it, I will go to the general consensus with Zach Wilson out of BYU. Yeah. Maybe somehow I have some hint to Justin Fields, but I will stick with Zach Wilson. He has the quality to fit into the Kyle Shanahan system, so it's going to be number 2 with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, and again, I want to thank you for calling in. Look, I hear you. There's a lot of people talking about Zach Wilson. That a lot of people say, hey, he's the guy that the Jets are taking. The media is all over it as well. They've been talking about it for quite a bit of time that the Jets are locked in on him. They zeroed in. So I look at this situation with Zach, and I'm wondering, the pressure in New York. It's heavy, just like I do. Do you think he'll be able to survive in this pressure that's going to be on him and be able to succeed in it. Because playing in New York is serious business. The media is going to be on you. The fan base is going to be on you. What do you think he's going to do with this pressure, man? Do you think he'll survive it?
Yeah, he will survive. The reason why that is that he has the coaching team surrounding him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just don't have Robert Saleh, but you have Matt LaFleur and a QB coach, and also he may have some of the players so he can chime in, so he can figure out how to live in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So he will be fine. And also, he might have some type of mentorship with Steve Young. I mean, Steve Young is a legend, so he can have some Chinese to say, hey, how to live in New York, even if he hasn't played in New York, but what New York is.
Yeah.
So it will be fine.
Yeah. Again, I always, I look at the situation. Douglas, Sulla, the coaching staff, the team, they're going to surround this guy, and that's what I want to see, because again, this is a new staff, this is a new regime. We're all moving forward from what we've seen in the past. They need to surround him and let them know, look, we got your back. The media is going to talk their talk. The fan base is going to talk their talk, but at the end of the day, you need to be worried about us, believe in us, be in the team, just the same way that we believe in you and pour into you, and let that be that, so that's what I'm hoping. But, the pressure here, it's tough. It's tough playing here, but going to the number 23 pick, there's a lot of people out there looking at this situation saying, hey, this 23rd pick is extremely important as well. Who is the guy you want? What is your prediction for the 23rd pick? Who do you think we take there?
Oh boy, so I would like to have like Brett Tucker, but somehow he will be left earlier. And the other actually you have Greg Newsom out of Northwestern University, but also he will be gone as well. So it will be interesting for me that if I can trade out a little bit down, let's say to the number 26, 28, to gather some, let's say, late second round pick or mid third round pick, and pick Creed Humphrey. So that's gonna be an extra pick for me to build the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're trading down in the first round, who are you taking then in the first?
If I will trade down, it's gonna be an average here. I would still pick Creed Humphrey if I don't have to trade down.
Okay. So either way for you, you're trading down.
But
you're gonna take Creed Humphrey in the bottom of the first round.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the thing is and I will plug into the number 30. To the number 34, I would like to trade down too and have a pick on White Davis. White Davis there, if he's gone, would take who's the other guy, Trey Smith out of Tennessee. That could be a good all line there.
Yeah.
It's not be nasty.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And even though if it's Creed Humphrey is gone to number 23, I can pick. I can go to Terrence Jenkins, and the second round I would go down to Quinn Miners.
Okay. Listen,
that's a very very nice guy.
Yeah, listen, you're bringing the fire right now. Give this man a hand. Listen, let's respect him. Yeah, bringing the fire right now. Listen, I think you're one of the first people tonight to talk about and toy with the idea of trading down in the second round. Because that's what's, I talked a little bit about trading down maybe in the first, earlier and stuff like that. But trading down in the second round could benefit the New York Jets as well. And we saw that work, in Joe Douglas's first draft. We did with trade down, gain capital, and still get the wide receiver that we wanted in Mims. So that is that's a thing that could be there as well. And also, and I talk about trading down too, because we're seeing what the Dolphins are doing. Right? Look at what the Dolphins are doing. The Dolphins are making trade bouncing up and all over the place. And these guys are getting first rounders. They're getting mid-round picks. The Dolphins are further along in their rebuild than us, even though they started after us. And now they're continuing to gain capital to be good for years. There's going to be sustained success because they're going to have more and more capital each and every single draft to continue to build that football team out. So trading down is it is a possibility that could really, give you solid dividends back. So, yeah, I like your take there. Now, I want to get your thoughts on this because you're talking about trading down in the second. I can hear that. But I'm looking in this situation and I'm saying third round, I'd like to see us possibly maybe package another third round pick with the third rounder we have. Take our 2 third rounders and trade back up into the second. What are your thoughts about that? Is that something you'd like to see? Maybe you'd like to see, Joe Douglas at some point in the mid rounds get a little bit aggressive and move back up into late, second or in those rounds to really be able to grab a guy. How do you feel about that?
I mean, if I'm on the pick number 66, I mean, I would be willing to trade up to the late second round and pick some talent there. Given the fact or given the sense that the number 66, there is not so much talent down there in terms of position of needs. For example, quarterback, I haven't mentioned quarterback. I would like to see Santos Thomas Jr., but he was gone in the mid-second round.
Yeah.
So if it's interesting, or even if we are good on paper on the wide receiver, we would like to see either to pick Rondé Moore or Elijah Moore in the late second round. I'm more open, but if I'm staying on the number 66, I will pick the guy from the linebackers for LSU, Jabari Cox. I mean, given the fact that the linebacker position is getting weaker, given the fact that CJ Mosley is not active for the last 2 years.
Yeah. Listen, you're bringing the fire tonight, like I said. My final question before I let you go is, how many players from this draft, how many players from this draft do you think immediately would come and be a starter? How many players?
I mean, at least it's gonna be 4. The first 3, and the first 4 picks of our draft. The fact that if you select a high number on the high third, we expect it to be a starter. It could be an input as well. I mean, let alone the first 3 picks that they get selected.
Yeah. Listen, you're bringing the fire tonight, man. Salutes to you. Go ahead. Man, this was a heck of a call. Listen, my friend. Listen, I got to get back to these lines. You really just brought the fire. Everything's burning around me. I got to get back to these lines. I want you to have a good night. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right, my friend?
Okay, have a good night, Joe.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes.
Listen, he called in with the fire tonight. Talked about trading down in the second round. That is an option. That is an option that's there. That was a heck of a good take. Look, salute to everybody watching again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Please call in. We're going to continue to go to these lines. I think it's my guy Bill next. My guy Bill's coming on. He's always talking that talk. I respect him. Salutes to you, Bill. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, Bill, give me your thoughts, man. Number 2 pick in the first round. What's your final prediction on it? Who are the Jets taking?
Final prediction, same as it always been, Fields.
Okay.
I think they're going to go Fields. I think it's been a lot of hype. I don't know where the hype has come from. I think it's echo chamber again. Said it before, say it again. Somebody said it's going to be Wilson. They started showing the highlight reels, and everyone's convinced it's Wilson. So I just don't think at the end of the day, when they take a look at the body of work, I think it's a safer pick as to go with Wilson. Fields.
Justin Fields, yeah. So when you look at the situation, Bill, So when you look at the situation, Bill, and again, I want to thank you for calling in. You've been, I know you love Fields. You've been a Fields guy. I love Justin Fields as well. I don't understand what's going on here. There's been a lot of talk in the media, but you look at this situation. There's a lot of pressure playing in New York. Do you think Justin Fields would be able to withstand that pressure and be able to succeed here?
Oh yeah, the guy's an iceberg. He's an iceberg. If you look at any interview, you read anything about him, just take a look at the kid. He's here to play football. He does not get mixed up too much with emotional side of these things. That shouldn't be a problem for him. I'd worry about any other the candidates. I'd worry about Wilson has not really left home. He's from Utah, stayed in Utah, and his parents were. Got to see his parents every weekend. He's not going to have that luxury. It's a different environment. Kids go. These guys are not just getting
new jobs. Like if you got a new job across the country, there's a big break-in period. But if you get that job and you are basically the president of a company, you have all that pressure on top of that, as well as being 20 years old, millionaire. It's all these challenges. So I just think from experiences that JC Fields has had to go through already with changing schools and all that, he's handled that well.
Yeah, he has. And so I look at this situation, Bill, let's get right back into it, man. 23. There's a lot of people talking, man. A lot of people talking. What is your prediction for the Jets pick at 23?
It's probably going to be Vera Tucker if he's there. I think they're going to call it, be safe, get the quarterback at number 2, and then go for the offensive lineman. He can play inside or outside. Versatility, everyone always likes to talk about. And, I think they can't really go wrong with that pick. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of positions, a lot of people around that area in other positions that they can kind of wait for the second round, maybe get someone comparable. But I think after Vera Tucker, for someone who could play both inside and outside, who has that track record of doing that, he's the only guy.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think they'd have to go with someone like a Leatherwood or a Cosme who you could move in and out, but not at 23. They'd probably wait to get someone like that in the second round and maybe even third if they stay around.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about people that are talking about possibly taking a running back at 23, like Najee Harris or Travis Etienne? How do you feel about that?
See, I don't know about that. I'm sorry to come in with no take, but I just hear about the Shanahan system has they need speedy running backs, right?
Yeah.
And for this offseason, everybody's running a 4.29, so I don't know who's fast and who's not fast. So that's something that the GM staff and the staff's going to take a look at and see if there's someone who's extraordinary. But I really don't think they'd pick that person in the first round anyway.
Yeah.
As much as that's an extra pick, I think they're going to look at that pick as a pick to just shore up the needs. And maybe the extra third round pick, they might go for a running back that might get exotic if someone's floating out there. And from the way that everything's stacking up, everyone's talking about Williams from North Carolina could be the number 1 running back. That pushes everyone else down. Then maybe you could get like Etienne in the early third round, possibly. I mean, I'm not sure, but there's also Michael Carter, also from North Carolina. A couple other names. So it's depending on what their assessment is of the speed for those guys, and I think also the guys need to have hands out of the backfield for Shanahan. So, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen this year for the Jets.
Could you see the Jets packaging picks to trade up in the first round to maybe grab a guy from 23?
I think there's too many needs. I don't know if there's anyone in particular that, this is our second draft with Joe, so we're still trying to figure out his tendencies. You look at some teams where they'll find a guy that they absolutely have to have and move up. And I don't know if we're in a situation where there's a guy we absolutely have to have who's going to make a difference. I mean, you get, Joe Montana. It's not going to make a difference if we have the rest of the squad. So it's a numbers game at this point. I think just have to get as many quality picks as you can, unless there's some guy who falls for some reason inexplicably who we just can't find, and the drop off from him is steep until our next pick, maybe. But looking at the projected mock drafts and so forth, I don't know if there's really anyone out there to package up and move up. I think we need more bodies than anything.
Yeah. So when you look at the top, that 34 in the second round, who's the guy that you predict for the Jets to take there?
34. This one's going to be tough. I think they probably need to go with another offensive lineman. I think they can do that because there's a lot of linemen, and you take your pick of what you need. If it's a matter of, I think everyone's looking at interior linemen, and there's going to be a lot of guys who are offensive tackles in college who you're going to read about shorter arms or not as tall, a better run blocker. Then do they have those guys that can be emergency tackles, especially last year. They had some issues when Becton got dinged up a couple of times, and guys coming off the bench didn't help the cause pretty much. So if we had guys with that experience inside outside, like I said, like a Leatherwood or Cosme, those two guys who are tackles, projected maybe guards, but they have that flexibility, can move them around. So if we have first two offensive linemen off the board, if you can get get those guys off the board, that would be very helpful. So hopefully they go that route. And then after that, it's just cherry picking. Everyone's talking about quarterback. I mean, quarterback, again, I know the defense. I don't know the defense that well to understand, but I'm reading that we don't need a guy who's going to play tight coverage. You don't need like a man guy. You need more of a guy who can play off. So there's a lot of quarterbacks out there who people they don't have highlights because they're not sticking the guys like glue, but they're keeping everything in front of them. They're breaking up passes.
Yeah.
So I think they're pretty deep on those types of corners, maybe in the third and later on. So hopefully we can pick up some guys like that along the line. There's one guy from Central Arkansas that was he was the one guy who I think he got the interception against Lance when they had that one game for Lance. But there's a lot of quarterbacks all over the country playing in smaller programs.
Yeah.
Who from a testing standpoint, a lot of those guys tested through the roof and have talent also. So that was a guy from Appalachian State, Shamir Charles.
Yeah. I mean,
that guys, he led the league in like pass breakups, but no one's talking about him.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys. I mean, I know the Jets are linked to a guy, Sean Wade from Ohio State, I believe it is. He's a corner that a lot of people say that they like. So we'll see going forward. But like you said as well, the cornerback position needs to be addressed. And I didn't, really think that we were probably going to get there until probably the third round or something like that. But my final question before I let you go is, when you look at this situation, you look at this draft, how many players coming out of this draft need to be starters immediately to consider this draft a success by Joe Douglas?
Well, all of them should start. That'd be great. But realistically, if we get 4, I think he might get, if he stacks up guys who can start in the first 4 picks, and then that 5th pick in the 3rd could be like a luxury pick, maybe a project. And then after that, there's going to be, if he picks the kicker out of Florida, who's like the top kicker at some point later on, that's the starter, but no one's going to count that guy. Like Mann was a great pick last year, the punter.
Yeah.
But everyone kind of sniffed at that until the guy was, dropping guys left and right on punt coverage because our guys couldn't cover anybody.
Yeah.
So he's the only guy out there doing anything. So I think if we can go ahead and get 4 guys out of the first 5, I'd be satisfied, and then see what else they can develop. And then don't forget the guys from last year who are still kind of sitting around. We have Cameron Clark on the offensive line. I mean, that guy is on the side of a milk carton.
Yep, Zuniga, Morgan.
Look at his tape on. Yeah, exactly. So these guys, a lot of questions to what's going on. Zuniga I was excited about, but we didn't really see him play.
Nope.
Clark, he only had a little bit of video out there. I mean, he looked good in the video, but we'll see what happens. If those guys can develop, then that's going to put us in a good situation for the later round guys to kind of come through and develop, and then, we're loaded down for 2022 for picks also.
Yeah.
The only problem I have is that Miami keeps outgunning us with picks. So,
absolutely.
They're in the division, and they just always have so many more picks, so we can't really get careless with what we have, because one false move, it's a real tough division. If you want to look at this division, it's going to be a premier division. Next few years, we're in the thick of things. If Joe could turn us around, we have a great opportunity to be one of the leaders in this division. It's going to be a tough division, so see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Bill, you had a fire call tonight. Give him a hand, everybody. Give him a hand. You had a fire call.
Always a pleasure catching you.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thank you for calling in. Listen, man, like you said as well, the Dolphins, and I keep bringing them up, the Dolphins are really putting things together, and they're moving around and making trades, and they're picking up capital that's going to continue to make them good for years to come. But listen, man, I got to get back to these lines, man. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, Bill. It's always good to speak with you. You have a good night, my friend.
Dude, take care, man.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, Bill calling in with the fire as usual, man. The absolute fire. He brought it. I want to thank everybody for calling in tonight. This is one heck of a show, man. There was so much fire spit on this show by a lot of people. We went back and forth. He had a lot of debates. For me, my final prediction at 2, I think the New York Jets shock the world. I think they shock everybody and take Justin Fields at number 2. I can't, that's my prediction. That's what I got. So I think they take Justin Fields at 2. I think at 23, they take Vera Tucker. And I think in the second round at pick number 34, I think we end up with Creed Humphrey. That's who I think we end up taking. So, a lot of predictions, a lot of debate, a lot of stuff to be had. Again, if no matter where you're watching me from, please like the stream. Please subscribe. Please follow the stream. Please share the stream as well. It's always greatly appreciated. So I'm going to go ahead and close the show out, folks. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. That's 3 zeros. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issue. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Mekhi Becton jersey on at all times. All right? I'm also on YouTube as well at Long Beach Joe Jets. That's Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel there. Give my videos a thumbs up. Turn on your notifications. And if you want to troll me in the comments, no issues. I'll troll you right back. I'll go right back and forth with you. All right, folks. And as always, people, when you see me in person, all right, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Okay, the hugs are absolutely free. They'll cost you absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? Anyone that tells you any different is not telling you the truth. They're telling you a straight lie. The hugs will always remain free. So I want to thank you folks for watching. I want to thank you folks for listening. Without you people, I am absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen and watch the show, all right? You folks have a good one. Peace. One second, folks. All right. Get back here. All right. Salute to everybody again. I got to get out of here really quickly. I want to thank everybody for watching and checking out the show tonight. It was phenomenal. You know, I want to thank everybody for calling in. I will be having a draft show again, you know, on draft day. We'll be doing a live show as well. We'll call in right after the first pick. You know, and we'll go back and forth. I love talking to everybody. Everybody, if this is your first time watching me, please subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and you know, like the stream as well is greatly appreciated. Here's my link tree, everybody. In case, again, if this is your first time watching me, this link, you know, has all of my, you know, information on it. It has every single piece, all of my, you know, content is there. So please go check it out. You know, again, you can follow me on iTunes and all that stuff. So if you go to the link tree, it's all there. So salute to everybody. Salute to the Savages. Again, thank you folks for watching. Thank you folks for being a part of the stream. Salute to NY Jets FL. Salute to Prestige Shogun. Salute to everybody, man. Jack White, you know, TJ Decker. Salute to him as well. Salute to JE. Salute to everybody, man. Everybody, you know, that checked in tonight, that watched the stream. That, you know, talked, that went back and forth with me. J. Cole, James D. Salute to everybody, man. You folks are the absolute greatest, seriously. So you folks have a good one. I got to get out of here. I'll see you folks for draft night. We'll be in here talking again. You'll be able to call in. We'll go back and forth live during the draft and react to everything that we have going on. So you folks have a good one, all right? Peace.